Hi everyone, welcome back to Daily Endeavours for Monday the 21st of July. As always, there'll be timestamps in the description if you just want to skip through stuff that you already know and just look at one of these options here. This is a painful stat though. If it were up to me, I'd personally just do Veins of Ore in containers and just leave it there for next time. Because killing a player is pretty quick, but it is super fucking unreliable. Like, you might, if you're lucky, if it's busy, you might get a kill. It's easy because you don't actually have to get the kill yourself. I'll explain once I get to it. But yeah, this one's not great. An arena usually takes ages, and 4 cycle bosses with a partner is also not great. So yeah, if we're up to me, I'd just do these two and then just fucking leave it. Because these ones here, they're fucking painful. For that amount of seals, the same as this shit, like, ugh. Alright, so I'll start with containers. This one's pretty damn easy. What I would do is 2 things. Firstly, I would go to Imperial City, enter the campaign here. When you get the thing to accept it, just press whatever button comes up. So, or just click on it. What this will do is, it'll take you to a safe zone in Imperial City where there's a bunch of weapon racks. And you just turn around, find these weapon racks here, and just loot the items here. And these all can count as containers, so you can just take this stuff. So there's containers from the rack here, from this rack over here, and then I think there should be another set in this room somewhere. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, all that works, and then all the lootable items from like tables and shit in these places also count. So that doesn't exist technically, but like for example, like in the area with the shops, you got a bunch of armor and weapons all over the place, like this stuff here. This all counts as containers as well, and all the crates and stuff in here. The circular icon on the map here, this leads to the exit. You come out here, and it will take you straight back to where you were from where you queued in from. The other location I like to use is in Craglorn. This is the Gem and Flask. Come upstairs up here, and there's a bunch of items that you can just take from this counter here, and you can't get a bounty because there's no one to see you. There's never anyone up here to stop you. So those are the 2 ways. You could also use Necrom if you have that DLC. Go to the Necrom Underways from this doorway up here, using this Vateshran. If you haven't been there before, you can use Journeys and Lodgings to get here quick. Or you can just use the Vateshran here, it's pretty easy. If you want to get to Craglorn for the first time, if you don't have any Vateshrans here, what you can do in this case is look for Elenir Private Arena in Home Tours. Just go Browse Homes, go down to E. Any house that's in Craglorn, if you just travel out of the door, you get into Craglorn, it'll unlock this Vateshran by default as soon as you enter Craglorn. So from that point, it's pretty easy to get here, and then you can travel here whenever you want. So yeah, this room, the top room of Gem and Flask, it's just super. I prefer this over the Necrom way just because it's easier to reach, like quicker to reach. It's more convenient, you know. And if you need to sell or launder the items that you've taken from those, just like the provisioning items, the Outlaws Refuge is also like right next to the building, so it's really easy to reach. Just come down here, go through the gap in the fence here, jump down to the next level, and there's a fence here. So you can just, if you want, you can just sell all the stolen stuff from here, or you can launder it and sell it and do the same thing. Okay, Veins of Ore. So anything with the word ore, ore in it, is something that will work for this endeavor. So there's 10 ores that you can get in total. You can find them in this this UASP page here. I'll link this in the description. This shows you all the different types of ores that you can get. The ones that spawn depend on 2 things. It's a 50-50 split chance between your current level and the first passive that you've put points into blacksmithing, metalworking here. So if you put your mouse or put your cursor over this, it'll explain that it'll tell you what one of them is. So in this case, it's Rubedite, and then my level also impacts the other one. So this level system here also is like the other 50%. So for example, if you're like level 22, you'll get steel ingot or steel ore, or higher. Sorry, it's higher iron ore. It spawns in and turns into steel. So yeah, if you're level 24, and your craft is like level 1, for example, you could get 50% chance between iron ore and high iron ore. So it's like you just got to know what spawns, just so you're not wasting time thinking that other certain things spawn when they don't. Now the good thing is, once you know what this specific ore looks like as like a node, you'll know what every single one looks like, because they don't look any different from this, each of them. So yeah, just look through this, make sure you know which ones spawn for you. Just check this and just see what your level is. I don't know what happens, because it doesn't say here, it doesn't tell you level 15 here. Like, I don't actually know what happens if shit spawns between. So yeah, I'm not sure. But just, maybe in that case, just check, like, have a quick look at what both of them are, just to be sure. Yeah. Here's another one. So, some other stuff that can help for this. Is there another one? Oh yeah, it is too. So, if you can get a character who has max level in all the crafts, it's really helpful for these endeavors, because the ruby or like rubidite or all the like ancestors, so all the max level stuff, I find that they tend to be easier to see in the environment than other things, because they're like just blood red, and there's like not many colors that blend with that. So yeah, it's just my 2 cents. Like, you can look at that. So easy to spot in the environment. But yeah, obviously that takes quite a fucking hell of a long time getting sorted, all the max level stuff. But it is well worth it, especially for this stuff. Also, platinums, so jury teams, these don't actually give you participation, like, it doesn't count as a vein of ore, even though sometimes they give you metal ores if you claim them. Like, it, yeah, they just don't work. It's just one of the issues. And there's another one. So yeah, you can see what I mean. It's just so easy to spot, even through shrubbery. Alright, so just a few more things. Surveys are great for this, because blacksmith surveys, so what they are is, it'll show you, like, I've got an add-on that shows me this. If you want that as well, link in the description. It's called Lost Treasure. These surveys, they spawn 6 nodes of their type, so this one spawns 6 ores. And if you go and mine these, because they're instant, so other people can't actually take these ones, as opposed to these ones here, where if someone else gets to it first, then they take it and you can't get it. If it's busy, it's kind of annoying. But if you can get these, it just completely removes that as an issue, and they always spawn there, whereas these ones here don't always spawn in these spots. It's just like random in a bunch of different pre-made locations. The only thing about surveys that I don't like too much is, I mean, one of like warnings I give is, if it's like your last or maybe like second last one, if you only got a few left, hold on to them, because sometimes survey endeavors come up, and if you don't have any surveys to do those, there's no other way. You're screwed. Like, you have to have some surveys on you. And they spawn, so surveys spawn from writs, or like you get them from writ rewards, and it's a 10% chance, it's 12.5%, but basically 10% chance to spawn, like, to get one each writ that you do. So holding on to them is good for that reason, because it is super unreliable, like, trying to get them on the day. So yeah, but yeah, if you've got tons of them lying around, just fucking go nuts, just go straight through them. Also, a few more things. There is also another add-on I'll suggest here. It's called Harvest Map, and every time you find a node on the map, it will save it onto your into a database for like the map pins here. And so when you go back there another time, what you can do is you can check if there's another ore node there. Like, in this case there isn't, but what it also does is it saves all the ones that you found in the past, so, or like all the ones that, after you get the add-on. But if I do this, yeah, you can see a new one spawns there. So it's not useful at the start, because you won't have any unlocked, but as soon as you go through and start racking up some spots that have like ore nodes, or like any node, they'll start just showing up all over the map. So you can use this to reliably just find a bunch very quick. Lastly, get a speed build if you can. Something with a lot of like mount speed with Gifted Rider is good. Things such as Sources of Major Expedition or Mine Expedition. So Knife Blades have Concealed Weapon. This gives you Mine Expedition by default, and you can craft Adept Rider, it's only 3 traits, which is like very easy to get that level of traits, like very short amount of time, and it gives you Major Expedition at all times, which is really fucking helpful. It also gives you Gallop if you don't have that, but that's usually pretty easy to get. And then the last, aside from that, there's also Master Gatherer, which increases the speed at which you harvest stuff. So if you want to get those Ornos quick, you can use this as well. Okay, I'm going to try my best to explain killing a player. This is not my forte. I'm not very good at PvP, but the good thing about this one is you don't actually have to kill them yourself. Like, you don't have to get the killing blow or like be the one person that kills someone. As long as you deal damage at all to a player and they die, it counts for this. So like assists work just fine for this. Also, Battlegrounds and Imperial City, these don't work. So there's 3 different PvP locations, so the community's split into 3, and that just, it makes it worse because like right now, for example, there's like super low populations for each of the factions, and what that does is it just, as you can see here, like this map, there's no action at all. Like the Aldmeri Dominion has taken everything. So sometimes there's just like nothing going on, and in those cases it can be painful because if you try and look for a player, sure, you can get there and find someone, but the odds of you, like, if you can't fight on your own, like, they're just going to turn around and fucking kill you. Like, there's... Yeah, if you don't know how to do PvP, it's like, it's not as simple as just running in and fighting people. Sure, it was like that on Vengeance, because everyone was equal, but usually, like, PvPers, they've got proper builds here, so the odds of you just going in and killing someone is not great. Your best bet for this one is waiting till it's either 2 or 3 bars at least of population, and that way there's people that are just starting to do stuff. Or just look at the map, and if you see stuff like changing, if you see stuff under attack, just go check there. But just understand, if you come in here as a PvE player, like with a build, for example, like this one here, if I go into Cyrodiil and someone sees me, they basically have to fucking look at me and I'll die. It's just like not enough health to survive being hit by like hard hitting abilities and shit. Now, what you can do is, because you don't actually have to get the kill yourself, if you're not familiar with PvP, that's the thing. I assume people who can go kill a player now, like reliably, they're not going to be watching this video. It's going to be people who are trying to figure it out themselves, right? My response is just don't. Just wait till tomorrow's ones. But if you absolutely must have these 15 extra seals, if there is a mount that you want and it's going to be gone in a day and you just don't have anything else that you can do, the best way to do this, I think, is to either grab some siege, follow a group around and just shoot enemies that you find, or follow that group around and just heal the shit out of everyone and just light attack. So, for example, here you could just grab a resto and just go around light attack spamming on any enemy player that you see and just stay with a group. Stack on a bunch of heals, you know, things like all the restoration heals and shit like that, and just focus on staying as a group, because in Cyrodiil, fucking group is survival, you know. Your other option is siege weapons. If you hit enemies with siege weapons and they die, it also counts, even if your siege doesn't end up killing them. So there's a bunch of different siege weapons in the game. My suggestion to you is get a couple of 5-volt blisters, because you can pay with gold for these, and they're pretty damn good against enemy players. So what you do is you have them in your inventory. You can set them up like you hit the quick stop button, just like activating a potion, and it gives you the option to put it on the ground. You do that and it'll pop up like this, and you just shoot it out like a gun. And so that'll hit players, and it does quite a bit of damage. Not as much as it probably, like, it's not going to destroy people like it would in like it would have in Vengeance if you have a fire blister, or oils for that matter. Both of those are really good for killing players. Oils are great on defenses, because yeah, they just do tons of damage, and you can set up multiple of them and just fire them off in succession. Same thing with blisters. But I find like players, like especially ball groups, just because of all the different stats you can use, sometimes they can just laugh off so much fucking siege. It's just stupid. But yeah, like normal groups, like unorganized groups, you can just hit them with a couple of 5-volt blisters and it'll cause lots of chaos. But yeah, they're the only real one I'd use. Maybe catapults too, just because the area is so huge of like all the things you can hit. But yeah, that or resto stuff. Just understand the ways that you survive and you do things in PvP is different. Like, you don't want consistent damage, you want burst, and you need heals as a player. You want stuns as well. Things like, for example, I'd use something like this to stun enemies, because if you can't stun players, it's a lot harder to kill them than in other cases. Okay, option number 4 is defeating cycle bosses with a partner. So that is either a player or a companion. So you can bring one person extra in here with you. Now, if you can choose, like if there's another player like ready to go as soon as you are, then absolutely bring a player in, because companions cannot, like, it is almost impossible for a companion to outperform another player. Like, if they're at least somewhat competent, a player will always be better. Now, which companions can you get? If you go to collections, go down to allies companions here, there's 8 companions in total. Unfortunately, every single one requires you to pay some kind of money. Everyone except for Tanloran and Xerathvar, these 6 here, they are all related to a DLC. So Ember and Isabel are High Isle. Sharper's Knight and Azandar, these are both Necrom. Bastion and Miri are from the Blackwood DLCs. Tanloran and Xerathvar, they're only available from the Crown Store. If you have ESO Plus, you get them automatically, as long as you paid for ESO Plus at all. Now, I would, again, if you want the 15 seals, is just dependent, but you gotta also understand that this one takes fucking ages. Like, it at least takes like 30 minutes usually. So I don't recommend this one either. Like, all 3 of these options are probably going to take 30 minutes plus, usually. Let's go and give you an example here, just summoning Ember for this. Now, I don't have anything at all on Ember, which is just brand new. So you'll just get like low quality stuff, and just don't expect them to survive at all unless you give them like a resto staff and they just sit in the back, because otherwise they just stand inside AoEs. They do dumb shit. They don't really understand how to deal with mechanics like the player does. They can survive, especially in like the first arc. It's not too bad, especially if they're ranged. But yeah, if you want them to survive, especially as a tank, you kind of need some decent gear for them to at least survive somewhat. So Infinite Archive, you would have seen it the other day. It's the same thing, except way, way more that you have to do. Because yesterday we had 2 stages, right? In order to get a cycle, you need to complete the 2 stages and then get 1 cycle. So it's 8 stages today worth, so 4 times as much as yesterday, just without even the cycle bosses. Including the cycle bosses, 4 fucking bosses, so it's just way more work, plus the added issue of like having to get a companion or a player. It's just fucking dumb. Why are they doing this? Anyway, so in order to start the fight, you need to hit this circle, and it'll spawn the first group of enemies. There'll always be 2 melee enemies and a ranged enemy in the first group. So naturally your companions like will soft taunt enemies, but yeah, it just depends. You can give them proper taunts, but yeah, usually they'll aggro an enemy or 2, unless you've got a taunt yourself. It can be helpful because they take attention away from you, especially if they end up getting like a big enemy, but it's hard to predict if they're going to do that. Alright, so the third wave will usually have a bigger enemy. As an example, this Realm Shaper. Yeah, she got attention to this dude, which is nice. Okay, it's back on me. Oh, hit with everything. Yeah, enemies in here, they'll do like attacks that you want to block, attacks you want to interrupt. Because if you don't, they do things. There's all sorts of stuff that you can find in here. You can find like Daedra, animals, humans, like corrupt humans, whatever. So yeah, all sorts of shit. So every time you complete a verse, it's just like yesterday. You get every time you complete a stage, you get verses. It's just like yesterday. So some of these can be really good, but in other cases, like example, Archival Worldliness, they can be quite shit. If you use a couple of the scribing skills, or if you're like a werewolf, this is good. This is decent. But other than that, it's fucking terrible. There's like so few world skills to use, especially like ones that deal damage. And then I get Stamina, which I'm my magic build. I don't really use that much, but whatever. Don't worry about these. The verses are temporary. They only last one stage, or cycle, or boss, or whatever. And then they go away as soon as you complete a round. Alright, that's stage 2. Then we get another verse. Hopefully it's better. Oh yeah, Swiftscale's pretty good. It's like Velidreth, but icy or cool. Alright, so this is a cycle boss. So you're going to need to do that 4 times, basically. So, yeah, it's going to take a while. The first bosses you fight in the first couple of stages are going to be pretty weak. But as you go, they get tougher and tougher. Now, I'm lucky here because the verse I got makes me really powerful. But it's very unreliable. Like, sometimes you get really good verses, sometimes you get shit ones, and it'll take ages. Get a chest. So this will give you some archival fortunes, which is the currency that you use in Infinite Archive to buy stuff from the store. You can also sometimes get companion items. So in this case, we've got a shield, but I don't have a sword for it, so I can't really use that properly. Okay, so every time you complete a cycle boss, you get a vision. So these are like verses where they give you a buff, but instead of being powerful and lasting, well, most of them aren't powerful. Instead of lasting one stage and being like usually very powerful, these ones last the entire run. So these are permanent buffs until you leave, essentially, and restart the instance. So cooldown, potion cooldown reduction, or critical healing done. Probably crit healing done. I have a lot of crit chance. So that'll just impact me the whole time now that I'm here. So you want to choose those ones very wisely, because, yeah, you won't get another chance. And then, yeah, literally the cycle repeats. So you'll get groups of little enemies, 2 of those, a big enemy or 2, and then another boss. Now, you don't have to just try and do one run. Like, for example, if you get, like, a really shit boss, there's a few bosses that are absolute cancer to fight against. Especially in the lower stages, like lower arcs, because if you kill them too fast, they like spawn shit, like spawn more enemies and shit, and it just becomes way harder to deal with them. Yeah, it's just depending on the situation. Alright, that's another stage. Yeah, I mean it's a stage, so I'm gonna kill a lot of enemies. Okay, so these are like coffee breaks essentially. They're just like little mini games. You can do them if you want, but they have no input on the cycle bosses at all, aside from giving an extra verse if you complete them, which could make it much faster. But I mean, you'll be doing the mini games, so it'll probably take longer anyway. But you can do these, but these have no impact on the cycle bosses in any way, like as far as doing them quicker. Alright, another verse. Field superiority, terrible. Yeah, here we go. So here's an example of like sometimes you don't get any good damage ones. It's good to get damage ones in the early game just because usually you don't have any issues with defense, but not always. Garen the Return. So this is a boss from Veris's 2. Yeah, this will be much slower just because I don't have any powerful buffs to make me much faster. I'll kill him much quicker. Potion. Oh. And that's another one done. Got the chests, more stuff. So yeah, you can see we're halfway. Another one done. Direct damage reduction. That's pretty good, I suppose. Not liking how few offensive ones I get though. Alright, these fucking vanguards here, don't let them get their channel off, because this is what happens, they become really tanky. So whenever they do their thing where they create like a little circle around them and get ready to shock charge it, interrupt them. Otherwise they don't do crazy damage or anything, they just take fucking a million years to kill if you let them do that. Still need Fable enemies, so... So when the... Yeah, there's another one. It's fucking too tanky. These sword and board guys, when they put their shield up like that, and you attack them, they'll do like a reflect attack on you. The way to know if it's about to hit you is that circle underneath your feet. When it starts expanding, that's when it's about to hit you. And it stuns you, so it's really annoying to deal with. Tempest, good for a cycle boss, I think. Alright, here we go. I don't think I've ever fought this guy, so this should be interesting. Alright, I got Tempest, so this should be pretty quick. Yep, always be careful when you see them do that. And that slam. Alright. Oh, right, okay. It follows me. Oh, it was spawning a Frost Action Arc. Okay. Kill him quick enough, it's not a big deal, I suppose. Okay, another chest. Another vision. Break free, cost reduction. It could be good. Though I am kind of melee anyway, so... And I'm pretty sure the range isn't that great either. Ah, here they are. Here's a fabled enemy. So, kill them. So the fabled enemies are ones you want to focus. They tend to do all sorts of like utility effects that will make your day fucking more annoying. So generally, at the start, just focus them. Because they do things like they make allies immune to damage. They can like stun you from fucking across the map. All sorts of annoying shit. It's a Frost Action. An ulti here, because everything's here. If you're a Knife Blade, you can just fucking ulti spam with Soul Harvest. It's so good. Another bloody coffee break. Alright, so just to show you, if you want to leave, or if you want to reset the place, because say you get like a I think I didn't grab the quest. Will that be an issue? I wonder. Oh, okay. I suppose you can grab the quest halfway through, as long as you don't get up to Tho'at already. So yeah, say you get like a boss that you don't want to fight, or you just want to reset the instance for whatever reason. This hourglass here, if you hit this, it will kick you out, and when you come back in, the whole thing will be reset, so you'll be at stage 1. So what that means is, generally the earlier cycle bosses are easier than the later ones. Some of the late ones, man, they can be fucking rough. Especially things like the Celestial Warrior. There's like a dragon that does like a drive-by, like, flame breath on the thing, and I'm like, from what I've seen, that like insta-kills you. I think it's like the ice one. It, like, I've done that before, and even on the first arc, it just one-shots you. It's fucking brutal. So, if I see them, I just fucking reset the instance. I don't want to deal with that shit. So that's something you can do. You can also hit the thing on the other side of the big globe. That also does the same thing, but that saves your score. And I'm pretty sure it takes longer for the instance to reset if you do that. And you don't really want to do that. Okay, so here's the current power I've got. Yeah, so here's the Fable enemy. Oh, fucking prick. These fuckers here, these druids, kill them as well, because yeah, they do that shit. Oh yeah, that's what the favored enemies do. A fucking meteor attack. So I'm pretty sure with that one, if it's anything like the other meteor mechanics I've seen, if you let the meteors sit there and don't destroy it, I'm pretty sure it just one-shots you. Because that's what it does in Rockgrove. Oh yes, I love this one. It's really fucking strong. This might be one of the quickest stage 4th bosses. Oh god, I don't like this one. There's like a mechanic halfway through, if you don't do it correctly, you die. And you have like 3 lives in here, normally. I'm gonna go full damage here. I'm just trying to kill this fucker as quick as I can. Yeah, this thing, get out of it. Alright, so... Oh, I guess... Okay. Yeah, so that mechanic there... Oh, what the fuck? There's like different color ones, and if you just let them move towards the middle of the room, I'm pretty sure they just kill you if you get too close to them. If you kill one of them, it like creates an area that you can leave through. It's something like that. It's like you have to kill them in order to progress the thing and stop it from killing you. Okay, critical damage with martial abilities. I don't have any martial damage. That's kind of useless to me. Reduced magical damage taken. I suppose that's okay. And get the chest too. Alright, so that's all you have to do for this endeavor, but because you've made it all this way, if you've grabbed, like, you can grab the quest now too if you want, but just grab the quest, and if you have a little bit more time, you can do Tho'at, and it's worth doing because you complete the quest, you get 500 fortunes, which is it's a fair bit of work for, or like a fair bit of fortunes for such little work, little extra work, I suppose. Yeah, not that I would do this at all, but this is something you can do, I suppose. This is the boss, like the final boss of Infinite Archive, and you basically just fight her every single time at the end of an arc. Every time you beat her, you go into another arc, and it just becomes harder and harder each time. But this is like the final boss of the whole thing. So it's a dance. Every time she hits you, she'll put a thing on the ground like that, and you gotta stand out of it. That's how you beat her, basically. Because yeah, it just keeps damaging you when you stand in it. So this is like a quit hitting yourself mechanic. Every time you hit her, she creates like a little missile that will come after you after a little while. So when she does that animation, just stop chasing her. Right, so this part, when she's got the sword, she attacks you slower, but the hits do way more damage. So you don't want to be dealing with that shit. So block those attacks, because they come out too slow for like you to run out of stamina very quick. Okay, so when she throws the sword, it creates like this laser beam. There's the quit hitting yourself thing. So you can see the little projectile there. So yeah, you can roll dodge it, but that's kind of hard too. And whenever you see these blobs, focus them first, because those, when they channel, they start doing a lot of damage. So block this to stop most of the damage from hitting it. Go for the blob. Get ready to roll dodge. Try to roll dodge it. Try to roll dodge that if you can, because it does a lot of damage even through block. Okay, there's a laser beam. Keep moving. Pretty sure it slows you too if you get hit by it. Two blobs. Throwing it away, getting ready for the laser beam again. Here it comes. It's got the mirror. And we're getting pretty close now. Just getting quite close to death. We're on the blob. Just keeping Strife up every now and then, because that's my main healing source. But most of it is just execute. And we're done. So yeah, just keep moving, stay out of the circles, block her attacks when she's got the sword, roll dodge the heavy attack if you can, or block. Block and just roll dodge. Yeah. I suppose. So yeah, if you want to leave from this point, you just take the portal. Just make sure you got the chest and all that. Don't hit the black circle, because that'll start the next fight. Just go into the portal here. Back to Malchest. And just hand that in. You get a Malographic Ichor, which, when you consume these, it adds to a... oh yeah, you're going to know one of these too. It's a face paint thing. But the Malographic Ichors, these are how you get the Malographic mount, this thing here, which is kind of a cool looking mount, personally. But yeah, this is a way to get a free mount in this game, which is cool. So each time you complete the daily quest for Infinite Archive, you get one of those. Now, if you want to reset the whole place, as I said, just go to the hourglass, hit this, and yeah, it'll, as you see at the bottom there, it says removing from area. So when we come back in here, like, you can travel straight back in afterwards, and it'll completely reset. So yeah, like I said, if you get like a shit boss that you don't want to deal with, that's the way to reset the instance. And it'll shuffle around like what you get instead. Yeah, so. Alright, so the last one is an arena. Now, if I do this now, this video is going to come out in like 10 PM. I don't really want to do that. So I'm not going to waste any more people's time. What I'm going to do instead is just explain the arenas, and I'll just do in a separate video a Vateshran Hollow run, because I've already done a Maelstrom run recently. I'll also link that if you want to watch it. I just have them as unlisted because it's like out of context. They're just kind of like not really worth much. But as far as arenas go, there's 4. 3 of them are DLC related or like pay gated, and the only one that isn't is a 4-player dungeon that takes fucking forever. So my personal opinion here, I'd never do this one. It's terrible for 15 seals worth. But yeah, the only 2 I would bother with is Maelstrom Arena and Vateshran Hollows. Everything else is just not worth the amount of time. Even then, like, Maelstrom and Vateshran are too slow. But the weapons you can get for them are very good. Especially, like, Maelstrom weapons. Maelstrom Inferno, Maelstrom Two-Handed, Maelstrom Bow. They're all really good damage dealer options. Vateshran, you've also got the Sword and Shield, which is, if you see tanks, they, like, taunt enemies, or like... Oh, sorry, they bash, and it pulls everything in. That's the Void Bash thing from Vateshran Hollows. So that's how you get that. So some of those can also be really good. Also, there was a point where Vateshran Destruction Staff and I think Two-Hander were like used in PvP all the time, and they were like the most fucking overpowered shit. I think they took the ability to use that stuff out of combat though, and it just kind of ruined them. But anyway, so yeah, I'll do a Vateshran run soon. There's already a Maelstrom run out there. There's a very old Vateshran run, but like it kind of was terrible. Like I died way too much. So yeah, you only have to do normal. I would not advise doing Veteran, especially Vateshran and Black Rose, because those are brutal on Veteran. Like Maelstrom isn't too bad these days, but yeah, they'll still take a while, like an hour plus, to do those. So yeah, I wouldn't bother with this myself, because like 15 seals wasting that much time, it's not worth it, I think. All right, wow, this video is fucking hour long. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Thanks everyone for watching. Give me a holler on comments and stuff if you have any questions about anything. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and take care.